ingredient apple pie cake recipe. So I have my angel food cake here, the one that says just add water. My apple pie filling. This part is totally optional, but I always add a bit more cinnamon and nutmeg just because I don't think it has enough, but it's totally optional. All right, I'm gonna mix this together. Oh, yum. All right, then we're gonna take our 9x13 pan and grease it. So now we're gonna spread all this around. Now if you want some really delicious apple pie, right here, Dining on a Dime Volume 1, it is the best apple pie you will ever have in pie crust. This one we're just gonna call what? An apple pie cake. How about we call it that? There you go. We're gonna bake this in the oven, then we're gonna come back and cut it. This video is brought to you by our Dining on a Dime cookbook. We have quick and easy recipes your family will love to help you get in and out of the kitchen fast. Please visit us at livingonadime.com. It's 25% off. Here is my 2-ingredient apple cake. Now, this is very optional, but if you want, you can add whipped cream or whipped topping. Oh my goodness. Yum! This looks so delicious. Jack, do you want a taste test or do you want Dad to be on camera taste testing? But you want Dad to be the man? You want Dad to be the star? Okay.
I'll try it and see what I think. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Ooh, it smells delicious. Mmm. Yum. That's like an apple pie. That's really good. Mmm. Yum. Super delish.
I am making some apple cider muffins. I am taking my baking mix. Now, if you want to make homemade baking mix, we have this recipe in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, Volume 1, page 58. And this is the baking mix muffins that are on that same page. And then we have our sugar and our egg and our oil. Then to adapt this recipe, we're going to be using regular apple cider, or you can use apple juice if you want. So we're going to put our water in there. The recipe is in the description below, as always. And then I'm going to add my chopped apple. I also add cinnamon and cloves. Oh my goodness, this smells so good. And a titch of allspice in there. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to eat these. Okay, well, I can't eat these because I'm gluten-free, but I'm gonna taste it anyway because actually this is one of my favorite recipes. Now, we have another recipe if you want to make this totally from scratch. If you want, you could also add walnuts or pecans into your apple cider muffins. My family doesn't like nuts, so we don't. Then I'm putting my muffin liners. Now guys, check garage sales. I got 1,000 of these for $1. I'm never gonna need muffin liners ever again in my entire life. So check garage sales for cooking items. This was a restaurant that was going out of business, so that was a darn tootin' good deal.
Darn tootin' good.
Darn tootin' good. Okay, now I like to spray my muffin liners. You don't have to. I just find that it seems to help a little bit. And then of course my handy dandy ice cream scoop. I always use it for making muffins. You're supposed to fill it about 2/3 full. I never do. Okay, now I have like 1 muffin's worth left. Where do I put it? Because I ain't baking a whole nother batch for 1 muffin. Okay, there we go. As you're cooking, get your stuff soaking so that you don't have hard crusted on food that takes forever to soak off. Just get it off right away. And it'll take literally 20 seconds versus, 5-10 minutes to soak it off later. All right, there we go. Okay, now you can see I slopped all over this, and I did not mean to. And this one is way too full. So I'm gonna move some of that over there. Okay, so clean up all your slops before, because then it's not as hard to clean up afterwards. And then one last touch that I do that is not in the recipe is I take cinnamon and sugar and I sprinkle it on top, and that gives it a nice crunchy top, which I think is everybody's favorite part. And we'll have Mike taste test and see, but I'm gonna tell you, these are so much better than those apple cider donuts you get. Sorry, we went back east and tried apple cider donuts and we were severely disappointed. These will not disappoint you. Okay. Now we're gonna put these in the oven at 400 degrees. Another thing you can do with your apple muffins is, people don't realize this, but you could just put it in a loaf pan, just grease a loaf pan and just cook it for 30 to 40 minutes. You can put it in an 8-inch or 9-inch cake pan, round or square, for about 30 minutes. Also, then you have an apple cider loaf or an apple cider cake if you would prefer. Now, in our Dine and Dime Cookbook Volume 1, we also have the recipe Apple Cinnamon Muffin Mix. So you can make this into a gift mix, or you can just make it totally from scratch if you want. And it uses apple juice and apple sauce, but you can just substitute the apple juice for apple cider and it would be just fine. All right, to test if my muffins are done, I'm putting a knife straight in the center and it comes out clean. Should we have Mike test? You want to taste test, dear?
Sure.
Ooh. Okay, we're gonna have to let these cool for just a minute and then we'll taste test.
Those look yummy.
Muffins,
Yum.
the muffins.
Apple muffins, I'm sure. Oh man, they smell really good.
Are they delicious? Hopefully.
Mmm.
I hope so.
These are better than regular apple muffins. These are the apple cider ones?
Yeah.
Oh yum, they're delish.
I'm making an applesauce cake. First thing I'm going to do is spray my pan. Oh, crud. I forgot this is a loaf pan. Oh well, we're making it into a cake. Yeah, let's see how many cups of flour. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna make it into a cake like this, even though it calls it a loaf pan. Why? Because I'm Tara and it's my cookbook and I will do what I want. Okay, getting my shortening, a half a cup. Now, I'm just gonna fill, I've got a 1 cup measure here, so I'm just gonna fill it halfway. And down to the very last of my shortening. Getting it all scraped out. Got a comment that someone was very disturbed that I didn't use a scraper on one of my last videos because I just used a spoon. Oh my, the travesty, the travesty. Even though I got the majority of the stuff out of the bowl. It just always amazes me what people... All right, and then 1.5 cups of sugar. 1.5. and 2 eggs. Salt and cinnamon and cloves. The recipe is in the description below. This is from our Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1, right there on page 277. This was my grandma's recipe. You can see by the recipe card. You can see I'm making a lot by the condition of my book. The condition of my cookbook, I should say. All right, I got my 2 tablespoons of water and then my 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Dissolve it in there. And my 2.5 cups of flour. All right, now I'm gonna grab my applesauce. This is my homemade applesauce that I had in the freezer, trying to get it used up. There's 1. And 1/2 cups. Now, like I said, the recipe calls for a loaf pan, but I'm making this into a cake shape. And I will bake it for probably, I don't know, probably 30 minutes or so, instead of an hour like the recipe says. Okay, put it in the oven. How to make buttercream icing. Put your butter or your margarine or your shortening in with just a little bit of vanilla. I add just a titch of butter flavoring. I think it just makes it taste better. And I add just a tiny bit of salt and my powdered sugar. Oops. And just a bit of milk. If you're dairy-free, feel free to use dairy-free milk. Yeah, I don't know if my margarine is. Okay, very good. Yeah, I'm gonna add the rest of my okay. Making a huge mess because the powdered sugar got opened incorrectly. I don't know if that was me or one of the kids, but we love us all anyway. All right, and now I'm going to take a little taste to make sure. That is really good. Oh my goodness, that is delicious. Okay, yum. Now we're gonna ice our cake. This recipe is in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1. I'm gonna test and see if my cake is done. Oh, it's not. So can you see it jiggling in the center there? I know it's not done there. All right, here's my apple cake, and we're gonna let it cool, and then we're gonna frost it. Got my cake and my frosting. Yummarummo. And then, in order not to tear your cake, pile your frosting in the center and just work its way out. And then you won't tear your cake. All right. Oh, doesn't that look delicious? All right, there is our apple cake.